But one of the big things that I do is I take my comb in between the toes and I pull this hair. See that? If I can get in there. She's pinching her toe. Stop! What are you doing? See that stuff? Comb the top again. Any big round feet you're doing, do this. Because that's the stuff that sticks out later and drives you nuts and you can't figure out where it's coming from. All right, let's see if I can get some of this hair and stuff out of the way. Larry, can you see the camera? Do you have it hooked up to your phone? Or can you stand up and look and see where we're at, if we got a good shot of the foot or not? All right, so generally what I do is I use a pair of regular curves, maybe. Now we don't want to pinch the bottom of this foot so much that it looks like they're standing on a peg. But you do want to get it up off the ground. So the first thing I do is I go all the way around the outside edge. I'm not going to trim a whole lot, I just want you guys to see. Around the outside edge of the foot, flat like that. Don't go like this, because then you're taking this stuff off. We don't want to trim that yet. We just want to trim right off the bottom, and we don't want to go over the pad of the foot, because then we'll catch the pad. See, look. If we get going, we go like that, then we're going to pinch that pad and we're probably going to cut it. You don't want to do that. So go right around the outside first. And then you set the foot down. And we go nice and flat all the way around like that, okay? Try to get those scissors as flat as you can. If you need to use straights, use straights. Doesn't matter. We're just trying to get this foot so that the hair is not touching the ground. And do it 2 or 3 times if you need to. All right, and then if you have a dog with big coat, now we're going to lift that shear up at just a slightly more of an angle rather than flat. And we're going to do it again, all the way around. That's how you do bevels on anything. If you want to do, you know, Asian fusion, but you don't want that hair hanging off the bottom of the foot touching the ground, give them a bevel like that. Just don't come up into here. Oh, thank you. You're so sweet to me. It's like, oh, not right now, listen. That's a little fresh. I'll tell you, I love these tables. The only thing I don't like is how slippery they are. I love the light, though, because you can see everything. All right, then. Okay, that's how you get a decent bevel. And then for me, I like to pick this up and trim this a little bit here because I like them to have a little bit of a kick out on the back. It makes them look like they're moving forward. And I'm really not taking off a lot of hair. I'm just creating a little angle right there at the back of the hock. Like so. And you'll see, if you see them in the ring and specials coat, that stands out more because they have more hair. You'll see that angle a little bit better. All right, so do your back foot first, do your front foot first, it doesn't matter, but don't do anything in here until you do the feet, because you have to make this match. Again, I'm just skimming off the pad of her foot. I'm not coming up in behind the back pad. I'm just taking everything off the pads and right next to the pads of the foot. And then I'm going to pull this stuff in and then comb the top to make sure we're not pulling too much out, and then take all that stuff off. You can do this with all your pet dogs. It actually helps with the matting between. Yeah. It saves a couple of minutes, and if you get that from between the toes but not on top, a lot of times then you'll reduce the matting that ends up in between their toes. Yep. Dual purpose. Yeah, dual purpose. Yep. And if you got a really big hairy dog that has a lot thicker coat, like with her siblings or her cousins or whatever, I usually end up doing it at least twice the first couple of times I do it. But you can still get that nice and clean, but leave the hair in the pad of the foot if the breeder wants it, because they think it protects their feet. So if they insist that you don't do that, you can still trim it all off and get, as long as the judge doesn't come through and pull out big hairs like that, like I just did, then you're okay. And if you tell them it's a show dog and they don't want me to shave out the pads, but they don't want to see those big hairs when they comb it. All right, so we're going to do the same thing on the front foot. We want all that hair not to be sitting on the ground. And if they schmutz around, lift up their butt. They can't generally go too far on two legs. And if they do, then you can move them, okay? And make them stand still. You can distract them. Yeah, if it's a small enough dog, it's you know, very easy to do. And it's easier on you than going and chasing the dog around the table, right? And getting frustrated because it won't be still. Well, now I'm teaching her what I want from her by putting her where I want her. And she just adjusted herself, but now she's going to stand still because she's already figured it out. Nice and flat all the way around. And if you're doing something new and they hesitate, just keep doing what you're doing and just wait for them to settle. I know it's frustrating sometimes with new dogs, but they generally get it, especially if they get the same groomer a lot and you do the same thing every single time you groom them. They're like children. They get used to a routine and they get much better behaved when they know exactly what to expect and exactly what's going on. So all the way around, nice and flat. The front one will look like a pancake when you first do it. When you do that first swipe, just looks like somebody splatted a pancake onto a griddle. But with all of this hair, you have to keep combing it and you have to keep going until you get all of it. Okay, we'll do it the other way. And then we lift up just a little bit. She's not used to that scissor noise touching the table either. Just every time you go around the edge, lift your scissor up just a little bit more of an angle.